This weekend marked the closed alpha playtest for Bellum, and let me tell you, it just entered the Milsim genre with its dick swinging. Today I'm breaking down exactly what went down, what impressed me, and why this game might just be the next big thing in hardcore tactical shooters. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Crispy Gaming. After months of anticipation, those of us who picked up the supporter version of Bellum finally got our hands on the closed alpha this weekend. But before we get into the footage, do keep in mind that everything you're seeing is early and a work in progress. It's completely expected to run into performance issues, bugs, crashes and more. I must say though, however, from my experience, despite running into a few minor issues, it ran relatively smoothly for me. The playtest was less about showing the final product, but more about giving the devs a chance to stress test the servers and get the foundations right. What really stood out to me though, was the raw potential that Bellum has to become one of the most authentic Milsim experiences on the market. Before we get into the main bulk of today's video, I was joined in this playtest by Big J Raider, a long-time supporter of the channel who also runs his own. He puts out some wicked content, so be sure to go check him out and drop him a sub. Now, if you're sitting there scratching your head wondering what Bellum even is, it's a tactical first-person shooter currently being developed by Karmakut and the Astart Industries team. I've made a couple videos about it already, which you can find on the channel if you want to get caught up. Part of what inspired me to start this channel came from watching creators like Karmakut and Operator Drewski, who got to take part in these massive coordinated operations with tight teamwork and clear comms. I've always had an interest in military tactics, and I wanted to experience that kind of organised chaos with a group of like-minded Milsim nerds. And whilst I have had some glimpses of Milsim through Arma Reforger, the reality is that most of those experiences depend on a community-run group and heavy customisation. Finding the right unit can be tough, and not every group is a good fit. And of course, Arma is a sandbox. It draws in people of all different levels of creativity, and there's times where you want to just sit back, chillax, and plant 15,000 mines on a road and convince the enemy to drive through it.
Just a bit further down and keep coming through the roadblock.
But what if you wanted to play a game that's designed to be Milsim by Milsim players? I've never played a game that drops you straight into the Milsim seat right from the get-go. That was until I played Bellum. With the pre-built squads, defined roles, squad leaders, team leaders, the whole structure is there immediately. And Milsim tactics are not just encouraged, but they're actually expected. As supporters, we received a hefty document covering movement, comms etiquette, radio procedures, abbreviations, battle drills, you name it. It's clear the devs know exactly who they're building this game for. One of the biggest gripes I had with previous Milsim units was just the amount of time wasted standing around, waiting for GMs to finish prepping missions, everybody to load in, waiting for the op to actually start, and then when it finally does, you're locked in for 4 or more hours. Unfortunately, most of us just don't have that much time anymore. Bellum's alpha, on the other hand, ran for about 2.5 hours on each session, and in that time, we managed to get 3 full matches in, each lasting around 40 to 50 minutes.
Keep your guns
with
up, boys.
Constant action, coordinated squad cohesion, and some absolutely intense firefights.
Copy, we killed a lot of them, but there's still 1 or 2 there. I want to get there.
For the playtest, we played the attrition game mode, where 2 teams fight within the area of operation until one side overwhelms the other. Players are limited to anywhere between 3 to 5 lives, so once you've used them up, you're gone. And unfortunately, you'll be spectating from the peanut gallery, like I found out firsthand. So you certainly need to be careful about just running and gunning. This means that communicating and sticking together as a squad are key to your survival, and it was really refreshing to see, for the most part, players adopting this tactic. Some of the standout features that I loved was the predetermined squad structure, and as simple as this sounds, it really laid everything out clearly. Players are able to understand their role, who their team is, their SL, their FTL, with no confusion and no chaos. Unlike other games I've played where players will bicker constantly as to who's playing which role. With Bellum, it's clear from the get-go what your purpose for the team really is. Another feature I absolutely loved was the watch. It's incredibly useful for checking teammates' positions, especially when moving through formations, without having to take your eyes off of what's in front of you. and you're able to quickly confirm whether that figure you saw running through the tree line is friendly or a threat. I really like that it's basically an in-game minimap, but it still manages to stay super immersive. I did run into a couple of bugs where it wouldn't display properly, but I did find that opening the map or the BTAC system usually sorted that out, and for the second play session, I didn't have any issues with it.
Yeah, you just need to pull up your ATAC.
Oh yeah, sweet, cheers boys. I also felt that the weapon handling felt fantastic, and the audio design is genuinely impressive. Hearing distant gunfire fights from other squads, the crack of rifles, and the thump of machine guns created some incredibly tense engagements. Suppression felt real, and you will definitely keep your head down. Unfortunately, I was unable to try the AR or the belt-fed MG rolls myself, though I heard there were some recoil issues early on. The devs did push an update on day 2 that seemed to address this issue. Like I mentioned earlier, I also loved how much the game pushes you to stick with your squad. For the most part, everyone did a solid job just staying tight. But on the occasions where I got separated, whether it was through the thick jungle foliage or the pure chaos, it becomes very intense. Every footstep, every rustle in the bushes makes you second guess yourself as you try to regroup. At one point, I literally stumbled over an enemy squad, in which I was gunned down pretty quickly. So it's super important to keep your situational awareness and stick together as a unit. As far as audio goes for comms, I think the devs have absolutely nailed it. Hearing squad radio in one ear, command in the other, and your fire team talking in proximity chat, all while gunfire cracks in over the background, creates this incredible mix of chaos and immersion without ever feeling messy. On top of that, the reverb effects inside of buildings are some of the best I've experienced. Honestly, beating out titles like 6 Days in Fallujah. This was hands down one of the most impressive features for me.
I don't know what's... Listen, I don't know
Ask
what's
where
happening.
1-4 is getting contact from.
1-4, this is 1-1 shooting at you.
I had mixed feelings, however, about the health system. On one hand, I like how simple and intuitive it is. Bleeding areas are clearly shown, and you can quickly apply bandages or tourniquets with a single click. I also heard medics using saline and stims, and they seem to have a smooth process. For me, personally, I kind of enjoy the more detailed chaos of something like the ACE medical system in Armour. I kind of enjoy checking for pulses, inspecting limbs for bleeds, performing CPR, and the whole kind of not knowing what's wrong with someone experience. I'd love to see Bellum incorporate a deeper medical system down the line, but maybe that's just me. In terms of movement, I did occasionally run into the odd stubborn, immovable object, like the odd bush or twig, that decided it was built from reinforced concrete. But this was far and few between, and nothing to get too bogged down on. What I do wish though was that the prone crawl speed was a little bit quicker, or at least giving you an option to move quicker when need be. I get that you're supposed to be slower when prone, but sometimes it just felt too slow at times, especially when you're under fire. There were moments where it seemed like my character just had zero urgency to escape the danger zone. I do feel like a stamina-based quick crawl option could be a great solution, and I can't speak from real life experience, but I'm sure I'd shuffle pretty quickly if someone was shooting at me. And finally, as for performance and optimization, I wasn't pulling great frames. But that could be a mix of my aging rig, my settings, and the fact that I was playing on American servers from Australia with 200 ping. Either way, performance issues are kind of totally expected this early in development, so I'm not overly concerned, and I must say the second day playtest was a lot smoother after I played around with some settings. So that just about wraps up my initial impressions of Bellum so far. Like I said at the start, it's far from the final product, but the team has done a great job laying down the groundwork in my opinion. I feel that they've set the bar very high after the first alpha weekend, and I'm certainly looking forward to the next playtest. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell if you want to stay updated and see more. Until next time, keep it crispy.
Guns up. Last stand. Make it count.